Power Breakfast. Top talk of the morning.
The time is 7:17. You're in Power Breakfast this morning with Tessa Dooms. And of course, we have been looking into the questions of General Mkhawnazi's explosive statements and the ways in which they have altered our understanding of what the political landscape looks like right now. With us on the line at the moment is Dr. Mpho Matlala, not associated with Vusi, I assume. I saw your name and I just thought, wow, what a time to have a name like Matlala following you around there, Doc. You're senior lecturer there at the Department of Police Practice at UNISA. What do you make of the minister's statement now that he has started to respond, but also the statements of General Sibiya and, of course, Fani Masemola?
Perhaps let me start with General Masemola. His statements, in particular, the denial about the letter and so forth, it shows some level of disingenuousness by somebody who's an executive or a senior manager in the SAPS. To contextualize, it would appear that there is an attempt to hide the true intention around the issues. That is one, that there are factional camps. There is Masemola Mkhawnazi on the one camp, and then there is Sibiya Mkhunu on the other camp. Whether those camps were created on purpose or someone else was assigned to a camp is really not is really irrelevant, but there are clear divisions. That is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Secondly, that this is, for me, where I'm standing, it truly is about the holy grail of the SAPS power. The succession battle has begun and it is getting ugly, and it is indeed putting national security at risk. Why am I saying?
So, Prof, before you get into the succession battle, because that's a very different political conversation, so I wanted just to park that one quickly and just start where you started with the divisions, because there are two possibilities here. One is that these three main players that have been implicated or been fingered here, Mkhunu, Masemola, and Sibiya, are either going to come together and have each other's backs, or they're going to throw each other under the bus. Right now, it would seem that there's a throwing each other under the bus. But what would their different motivations be? When you say there are camps here, what are the different camps here, or is this just them looking after their personal interests?
Yeah, it's really, that's why I wanted to delve into the succession battle. It's really about looking at different personal interests. The way I see it, General Masemola is retiring in less than 18 months. By the end of next year, he'll turn 60. General Mkhawnazi has got his term ending in next year, I think, his first 5-year term. So there is the issue of whether it is going to be renewed or not. If it is not renewed, he is out of the job, and currently he's 52 years old. And if Senzo Mkhunu, minister, is still Minister of Police, the likelihood of that renewal or even ascension to the National Commissioner's post, which will, the advert will go out as early as next year. Then he stands very little a chance, and hence we are seeing all these explosions. From where I'm coming from, the explosions, whether they are true or not, at this point in time, for the purpose of our conversation, it's immaterial because he who alleges must still prove. We would like to see investigations, the criminal charges being opened, Parliament taking a nosedive, But the point of the matter is that in trying to expose something, you yourself cannot trample over certain governance protocols. A simple thing, the abuse of the privilege of provincial commissioners to actually call
a press conference.
Press conference.
Well, Fani Masemola has said that he doesn't think that General Mkhawnazi did anything wrong by calling that press briefing. So he's actually saying that there was nothing untoward about that in terms of protocol.
No. He's addressing the jurisdictional issues, not the substantive issues. It is common cause that provincial commissioners, in terms of protocol, have the right to call press conferences.
Sure.
But that is to address the crime situation and police operations in their provinces, where there is an overlap now to other issues. That matter should have been dealt with differently. Now, it raises questions as to whether Fani Masemola was privy to what Mkhawnazi was going to say, because he's addressed, let me put it this way.
Yeah.
In any institution or organization, even in private business, as an executive, you are only allowed to say this much. Where the information is super sensitive, like we had, and may cause, may compromise nation security, or even put the brand reputation of the SAPS at risk, or the organization into disrepute. These matters can be handled differently.
But some people are saying that this is a case of whistleblowing, and that when it comes to whistleblowing, you deviate from protocol exactly because there are sensitive issues, there are dangers to your own safety. And also, where was he going if he was going to go through the normal chain of command, given who he's fingering in these allegations? I've got two questions for you, Doc, just so that we get a bit of a deep dive here. Sure. One is that you're saying that there may be a succession battle for being the top cop in the country, and this may be about that. But it does beg the question, why is Mkhawnazi involved in any of this? Why was he being drawn into it? And that may be part of that conversation, because there's two things that have gone explored. One is that Mkhawnazi has also said that there is a syndicate in Gauteng that he was made aware of. He's a police commissioner in KZN. Why does he know as much about what's going on in Gauteng? And especially in terms of the fact that he's saying that there are politicians involved in that. And perhaps that's because he has a lot more power than he should have as a KZN commissioner, and that's part of those succession battles that you're talking about. The other is this connection to Dumisani Khumalo, and nobody can dispute the fact that the task team, the political killings task team, was disbanded. The question is, who disbanded it, and did that person have a political motive behind it? Were they going after Dumisani Khumalo and Nhlanhla Mkhawnazi because they knew too much? Aren't those the big issues at play here?
Of course they are, but let me address the first issue. General Mkhawnazi is drawn into it for simple reasons. That one, he has an interest himself. General Sibia, from where I'm standing, these are the two front runners in the race.
In the succession battle.
In the succession battle. So it's a question of eliminating competition. That's point number one. So, and then two, yes, there is no doubt that the political killings task team has been disbanded. It is extremely questionable as to what is the rationale
around disbanding it.
Yeah, because it is re-centralization, and re-centralization sort of like disturbs the dynamics and the progress made in terms of the investigations or the work already done, which would then now talk to these two particular camps or factions that I'm referring to. You'll recall that General Mkhawnazi is doing a sterling job down there in KZN. And he's all over the media showcasing, which is not
what
a
he's
bad
doing,
thing.
yeah.
Which is not a bad thing in itself, and we love that as South Africans because we want to see a police service that is working, and KZN is a shining example. But also what is not being said is that most of the successes are ascribed to the quality of information from crime intelligence, which is headed by Sibiya, because he has organized crime and
so this
crime
is different.
intelligence.
This is different top cops trying to mark their territory for the succession battle to replace Masibola. That's your theory. All right.
Absolutely.
Okay,
And you
so
have
that's definitely a new contribution to this conversation, and one that is worth exploring. Is this just a succession battle, or is this really about the crimes at hand? Thank you so much, Dr. Mpho Matlala, for giving us that perspective.